What is going on, Outlaws? Once again, Michael or Legacy Kill HD back with another Red Dead Redemption 2 video for you. So today we have something interesting to discuss, and it's another quote-unquote leak. And this is again coming from 4chan from apparently a Rockstar developer. Now I need to say what this user claimed was a lot of details about Red Dead Redemption 2, but this is unconfirmed information, so please take it all with a grain of salt. Some of you guys have been contacting me about this, and I felt obligated to discuss my thoughts on everything that this individual claimed. But as we go through this, let me know what you guys think about all these potential or possible RDR2 details in the comment section below, but again, please take it all with a grain of salt. Nonetheless, so let's start with some background on this post, as it was started on June 3rd, and this quote-unquote Rockstar developer started off with an image of one of the company's locations, which I'm guessing is his way of trying to give proof that he works at Rockstar. Either way, he starts off saying the reason why he wanted to give these details on RDR2 is because he's drunk, lonely, and bored. He also added that he's been working at Rockstar for 3 years now and he hates his life and apparently has nothing to lose. Jesus. Although I find it a bit odd that he gives descriptive details on how long he's been at Rockstar, but I guess you could argue Rockstar Games is a pretty big company, and in recent years a ton of employees have left the company and been hired. I mean, this wouldn't be the first Rockstar leaker from 4chan, as we know. The other guy that leaked 4 Grand Theft Auto Online DLCs weeks in advance of any details going public, and he also made claims on Red Dead Redemption 2. Either way, let's continue to his first claims, where he says Red Dead Redemption 2 story is about Jack Marston. The game features many flashback scenes of like the one from the first trailer with Dutch's gang, which is playable. Jack is trying to piece things back together within the story, finding his father's journal after he dies, and finds a few old friends of his father who teaches him some secrets of John's past. In Red Dead Redemption 2 will take place 3 years after Red Dead Redemption. It doesn't really clarify if that's, 1914 or 1917. As most of you guys know, we technically play in 1914 3 years later as Jack Marston within Red Dead Redemption, so I don't think that's really that important unless Jack had some type of role in World War I, which he probably didn't. Either way, let's continue on. He then added that he will be doing an AMA, which he gives a whole ton of other claims on Red Dead Redemption 2 and other future Rockstar games. But before we dive into that, let's discuss this first part. There already have been rumors and assumptions about this game being a sequel and a prequel, so seeing an older Jack Marston does make sense, although I really felt that we'd see Jack much older, and it would only be a small part of the game. But from what this individual is claiming, Red Dead Redemption 2 is for the most part set in 1914 or 17, again we don't know, which I do find it hard to believe. He also says that the game would feature flashbacks, which from the first trailer it already has been implied that this scene here is in the past and this one is in the future, where an oil company may have taken this individual's land from them, so it certainly is possible. Although I will say Jack trying to piece some things together of John Marston's past is rather odd, as I honestly never thought that there could or would be secrets, but I mean, maybe there is something with Dutch's gang that went undiscussed in Red Dead Redemption, and the title of this upcoming game is Red Dead Redemption 2, which has already made so many people confused, because usually prequels aren't given a 2, but from the confirmed details we still don't know much about this next installment, so I mean, who knows. But now let's get into this AMA that this individual did. It starts with a question about the current engine, which is the Rage engine, which I think we obviously know has been upgraded to be better utilized with the current Xbox One and PlayStation 4. But he says the obvious, that the engine has been upgraded. He believes, which that wording makes me even more skeptical, as if you are a Rockstar developer, you probably would know for sure something like this. Anyway, he next says that the flashbacks will be playable and are linear, but don't take place in the same world as the main game, which is possible. He also says that the game will be a bit bigger than Grand Theft Auto 5 and it will be much more detailed, which based on the leaked world map it appeared to be smaller, so that's an interesting claim, and a much more detailed world is a bit obvious, as exploration and adventuring is going to be a big part of gameplay in Red Dead Redemption 2, as it was within Red Dead Redemption. But continuing on, he does confirm first person mode will be in Red Dead Redemption 2, and he gets asked about Red Dead Online, in which he gives a very lengthy reply. This is what he has to say: Red Dead Online will be very economy driven. Players can trade / sell items to each other. Eventually you'll be able to buy Gatling guns and put it on the back of a wagon. You can buy crazy mounts like zebras and buffaloes. There will be 5 or 6 different gangs you can choose from when creating a character. Every gang has their own base that can only be entered into by that gang member. There are different clubs that everyone from any gang can join, such as fishing, hunting, horse racing, gambling. There's a huge emphasis on hunting parties in online. Hunting is said to be more strategic. You will have to be quiet when looking for animals. All animals have different stats, so one buck you kill may be worth more than the other. weather, there's boats now and you can fish in them, there's a huge casino type place in one town, and that is all the details that he says about Red Dead Online. Most of this I could certainly see happening, although including zebras into the game sounds honestly ridiculous, but we really have no idea the approach that Rockstar will have with the online mode. I do like the idea of animals with different stats, as that does sound much better than just getting the same bear or deer, as one could be much older and stronger versus younger and weaker, which could give us a more immersive experience. Now I will add that a lot of these details sound good, but it does seem to be more RPG elements than I would expect in a Rockstar game. The next question that is asked is asking about towns and if there will be any native locations, in which the individual replies, "I'm not sure how many towns there are, I've seen at least 2 big ones, I know there are little places scattered around though, there's a load of stuff to do, most of the stuff from the first game is back, there's a big emphasis with economy, which will also be implemented into online, there will be a ton of stuff to do but online and offline with realistic pricing and blank. You can also do a lot of small jobs for people to get money, there are heists this time, you can rob banks, trains, saloons, you can kidnap people and hold them for ransom, there's a lot of little details like that that are in the game that many people wanted in the first one, and there will not be any Indian stuff. Now all this I can believe, and it probably will be in Red Dead Redemption 2, but I have a hard time believing Native Americans won't be a part of the game. I mean, the first trailer even teased it. At least that's the conclusion most of us came to. Moving right along, someone then comments saying that everything being said sounds just like Grand Theft Auto Online, in which he states, "I mean, you're not far off, but it works pretty well, I think. Instead of shark cards, you can buy gold bars, which you can trade in lots for cash. Say what you want, most of us expect Red Dead Online to be alike to Grand Theft Auto Online. I mean, let's be honest here, Red Dead Redemption's multiplayer set up for Grand Theft Auto Online in certain aspects, so gold bars being shark cards sounds like an alternative that Rockstar would do." Now lastly, some other things that he did mention is that he's currently not working on Red Dead Redemption 2, but he is currently working on Agent, which he claims was resurrected in November of 2015. You know, that PlayStation 3 exclusive game that was supposed to come, I believe, in 2009, but it ended up getting delayed, and we haven't heard about it in, I believe, since 2011. But just the other day, a credible leaker confirmed that Bully 2 was not coming, so this does make sense, and Agent probably is next up, as it was found earlier this year that an actress was casted for this game. There's also been some other minor leaks that may be connected to this game, but he also says that Grand Theft Auto 6 is in early production with no set location, and that Grand Theft Auto 5 single-player DLC is never coming, and that currently there are 0 plans for Red Dead Redemption 2 single-player DLC, which is disappointing. He also gets asked about E3 and says that in some capacity we will see Red Dead Redemption 2, which doesn't really say much because most of us expect to see Sony or Microsoft mention the game, but the real question is if we see something new, like a trailer or maybe even new images. Remember that Take-Two, the parent company of Rockstar Games, did say that we would not see anything from them at E3 2017 other than WWE and NBA 2K18, which is under one of their other publishers, 2K Games. But even with that comes some technicalities, as Sony and Microsoft and, well, pretty much all the other huge AAA publishers have conferences before E3 begins, which is scheduled for June 13th to the 15th, so RDR2, if it does show up, would be in one of those conferences before the event begins. And I know a lot of people are going to be watching Sony's conference, as Sony and Rockstar do have a partnership for Red Dead Redemption 2. Although still, I wouldn't get your hopes up, as Rockstar themselves have said we would not get anything new from them till summer, which doesn't start until later in June, but always expect the unexpected, as this industry is always full of lies hiding big surprises. But hopefully you understand my point from this is that if we do see Red Dead Redemption 2 in any way before or even at E3 2017, it may not be anything new. Either way, gang, this leak has a lot of things that probably will be in Red Dead Redemption 2, like first person mode, but there's things that really don't add up in my mind, like not having any Native American influence. That just makes no sense, as it almost felt teased in Red Dead Redemption, with natives calling the government out for stealing their land, as that was seen with Dutch's new gang, which obviously consists of mostly Native Americans. The few locations that have actual proof of battles with settlers that can be found within Red Dead Redemption, Drew McFarlane telling of his own personal battles with them years ago, and not to mention the multiple characters that refer to them as savages, which I believe can actually be seen in the beginning of Red Dead Redemption. But as most of you outlaws who have followed me, there's even more proof, like the leaked map location names and concept art coming from a former Rockstar developer that point to this being in Red Dead Redemption 2. As many have already said, natives felt underutilized in Red Dead Redemption, and if the game is a sequel, it would make sense, but I just can't see Rockstar moving forward, as the theme of Red Dead Redemption was the Dying West. So a prequel only makes sense, but there certainly could be flashbacks with somebody reflecting on their time with John Marston and the rest of Dutch's gang, revealing some type of huge secrets. Also, I have to say it, but most of us want to be able to use a bow and arrow within Red Dead Redemption Redemption 2 and have a wider range of weaponry. But I did want to make a video discussing this, as quite a few of you guys have been messaging me and asking for my thoughts. Personally, I don't think this is real. It certainly is something to talk about, and there have been leaks in the past that no one believed that turned out to be real, so take this as you see it. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below, and do you think gold bars will be the alternative for shark cards in Red Dead Online? Anyway, make sure to smack that like button if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, and consider subscribing to stay up to date on everything Red Dead Redemption 2 related, and remember, Outlaws to the end.